So the last stage of the flowing section for the 1AC is where we go in argument by argument and really start breaking it down. People start getting overwhelmed by this because sometimes they think that there's just so much material that how could you ever do that? It's really not that much. I mean, take a look. We got 5 sections here. We got 6 sections here, and we got 6 sections there. So all together, it's like you're doing this 17 times. If you were in a math class and they gave you 17 problems to work on, you would consider that a pretty typical homework assignment, and this is really no different, okay? So we're going to go through and we're going to analyze each line of what the opponent said, and we're going to use the Toulmin model to do that. How are we going to do that? So just a really quick review. Remember, we're using the the Toulmin model, and we simply use really basic formatting in order to make these different parts pop out. So we're going to bold the claim, underline the data, italicize the warrants, and then we have backing and reservation qualifiers, stuff like that, okay? In order for you to see this a little bit better, let's just increase this, all right? And we will also get the font a little larger for you to see. Heck, we could do it even bigger than that, okay? All right, so here we are. There's the outline. Now remember, at the very beginning of the 1AC, there's an introduction, okay? So before we jump into the Toulmin model, I think this is a really good opportunity to point out that there are limits to the Toulmin model analysis. Remember, this is supposed to be on collections of propositions of which one claims to be supported by the other. Now, there are situations that don't have this sort of relationship where there's one particular sentence that is necessarily supported by all the others. And I think when you start getting into a story, yeah. First off, I went to high school, and this agreement we went to go back to the reef together. That's not going to happen. Now, there's this sort of narrative approach isn't necessarily the most conducive for Toulmin model analysis, but let's still try to do this a little bit more. Okay, that's not going to happen. The Great Barrier Reef, it was declared dead. It means over 60% is victim to bleaching. It's not getting any better. In fact, it's getting worse, which prompts today's important case. Oh, really good example of like, all right, I don't like this being here. I would rather it be at the beginning of the next one. See that? So sometimes you make, mistakes. So this one seems to be, he ends with the claim. So it's like he's trying to lead up to the conclusion. It's like, I'm going to give a case for these following reasons. So there's the bold. This one is the data. So it's not getting, what's not getting better? The Great Barrier Reef, right? And the backing. This one. Underline, italicize. This other stuff, I'm a little. Seems like he starts getting argumentative here, and up until then, it's just all sort of narrative and somewhat fluffy, which is not bad. Like don't get me wrong. I think I would prefer people to start that way, so it's not an argument, and it makes it a lot easier for you to get into it. But you can start seeing how the Toulmin model analysis starts popping right here. Anything that you don't touch at all, it just stays the same, stays at the default, and then you start looking and it's like, oh, that's argumentative. So that's all we're doing through the entire thing, okay? First, we're going to talk about resolutional analysis, pointing the burdens. This would be a policy round. That's a claim. As the resolution specifically mandates a policy. There's the data. Now notice the data doesn't need to have any source citations. It's just stated as a fact that supports the claim, okay? Look at this, meaning that's just an extension of the data, which would mean that that is backing, right? Because it adds additional support um, to the data. That's it. That's it. You go through each one of them and you do these things. The definition. This one is interesting. Sorry, I clapped. Molten salt reactors hereafter are called MSRs. All right. These are only definitions. So this one, you have a choice on whether or not you want to kind of split them up into several different cells, which is, there's nothing wrong with that, all right? You can make it so that these things are um, separate and you could deal with them individually, all right? But it seems to me that all he's doing is like, I'm just declaring definitions and each one of these is supporting. And so one of the rules that I want you to follow is there should be only one claim per cell. Okay, so if you're going to consider these to be different, um, if you're going to consider these to be different claims, which I completely understand, you could simply insert a row below, and now what you do is you go through and you separate all of them. And you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I wish the default would just be, you all can tell me how to do a default wrapping. All right. And then he only has 3 definitions. So, and what's the hotkey for that one? Insert, oh, there is no hotkey. All right. And then format, wrapping. There we go. All right. So now it becomes a little easier this way because you could just do, here's the claim. Actually, that's the thing about definitions, is that all they are is a claim. It's an assertion. It doesn't explain, like, if there was, oh, this one is not part of the definition. And this is also not part of the definition. I'm going to let that one slide. Because, yeah, it could be another argument. Like, he's making that argument and he could be wrong about it. And I don't like letting things slide. So, it's not really part of the definitions, but it is an argument. Yeah. Boom. Underline. This almost seems like a sort of a reservation. Let's just do it. Don't be afraid to be wrong on this analysis. You could always go back. Remember, this is like, how does it hit your ear? How does it sound to you? Okay. All right, C point, plan text. All right, another sort of weird one. Now, when you get to the plan text, this is really just sort of a way, this is also a way of defining things. And so if you want to kind of leave the plan text as it is, that's fine. In order to, because it's just a statement of an assertion, basically. And so and assertions are really just all all a single claim. Okay. The criteria for this round will be net benefits. Boom. What does that mean? This is all. Oh. All right, I made a mistake, right? I slipped and my finger came off of the function key when I hit the U because I've just been doing the hotkey. So remember, you could just do Command Z or Control Z if you are, depending on your a Mac or a PC. All right, and so what I've been doing is I just do Command U, and sometimes my finger just slipped off. There you go. The resolutional analysis isn't quite as easy as the advantages. All right, let's take a look at the advantages, and then I'll just do one for the purposes of this lesson, just to show you how much easier it is. So, unfortunately, that the resolution analysis is almost like an exception to the Toolman model analysis, and the reason being is because there's so many assertions. All you're doing is saying, I want it this way, I want it that way, I want it this way. Everything that follows is much more conducive to the Toolman model. So if you're really confused on the resolutional analysis, I understand. We'll probably have some differing opinions on how to do that, but everybody's arguments in the body of a person's 1AC should be fairly easy, okay, versus energy. The harms. All right, so don't worry about the signposting, okay? Just I'm going here and stuff like that, because really, what is okay? So notice, according to, that's a key thing about data, okay? So he wanted to lead with his data. And so in this situation, even though I don't always suggest going with the data in the first place, so looks like this is a serious problem. So if I do that, this is a serious problem. What if 1.5 to 2 degrees doesn't seem like a lot? You know what that is? That is that is your reservation. There you go. Sometimes I have to look at the key to remember which one I'm doing. Okay, so he's got a claim, and it's like I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it is. And so everything up above this are there's 3 different. Oh, I missed this. First is better energy. Very. So remember, we don't want to have 2. There you go. The whole thing is the reservation. All right. The first is better energy. No. Oops, sorry. That's the name of the advantage, right? So I was right the first time. Hopefully I'll edit that out. Okay, so then over here, boom, and then you could treat this whole thing as I would treat this first couple of sentences as the data, and then this is sort of a deeper explanation of the data, and so I'd consider that to be backing, right? Because like he's saying the same thing twice, but he's saying it using different words, and so that becomes its own one. There, that one's pretty good. Okay, boom. The inherency, the structural inherency, preventing the use of nuclear power. Overregulation and underfunding. Here's a great example of an assertion. No data, nothing cited, not even sort of an explanation about where to, perhaps get this information. It's just that he's making a statement of fact without anything. And now, what the benefit of doing this is right now you should be honing in on the assertions. Like, who says that um, nuclear power is overregulated, underfunded? How do we know that? All right, and that one leads you to certain questions that you can prepare for the cross examination that's coming up, and two, helps you with your research for your negative constructive. If you find a way to take out that inherency, that starts becoming a death blow to this one advantage, if not to the entire case. Let's finish up this first advantage, all right? Nuclear. So this first part looks like the claim, and the second part seems like he's specifying, clarifying, explaining what that means. Okay, last one. Impact. Increase energy efficiency. Very clear claim. Boom. According to, so easy. Underlined, additional explanation. I think all of that is additional backing. Oh, hit it twice. Yeah. He's trying to, we could have, oh. I actually think it's better as a warrant right there. Because this creates a nice little argument right there. Oopsie, I don't want that. There you go. This means more power with less waste, explaining the reasoning between these two, the claim and the data. Not bad. Okay, I like that. Second impact, decreased dependence on coal, fossil fuels. There you go. Boom. I think he is. See, when you're setting up this sort of either or scenario, that's you trying to set up the logic behind this. And then he says, energy demands can't possibly. That is data. Notice he doesn't cite anything, but he treats it like it is true. They can't possibly supplement it in time. So that's one piece of data. And so these are two separate pieces of data, right? Or things that he's treating like data, but doesn't actually have any evidence supporting it. There's like he claims that it requires less drilling and less coal mining, but I don't know. What if I research it and it has the exact same amount of drilling and mining to get thorium out of the ground as it does coal mining? What if the process is just as I have no idea. I just have, what am I going to take his word for it? But at this point, I just have the assertion that, the assertion of two facts. One fact being that alternative energy can't supplement things in time, and the second thing that nuclear energy requires less drilling and mining. Maybe that's true, but I don't know for sure, and I don't even know where he got that information from. So again, that starts informing what my cross-examination is going to be. This is logic, uh, it might just be that one of these is the warrant, but again, I'm not going to obsess about that. I'm trying to do the best I can, like you're managing time as well as quality. Okay, so the last thing, stabilizing global temperatures. Boom. In short, this is really truly nuclear energy can help save the world. I wonder if it's reversed. I'm just going to treat that as data. When in doubt, that's what I do, is have one claim and one data for a 2-sentence argument. Now, it could be a claim and a warrant, but and I'm still kind of on the fence about that, but there you go. Look, I got a resolution analysis advantage done, and that was 20 minutes. So the next advantage should take another 5 to 10 minutes. It's a 30-minute assignment after you're done with this. And just make sure you have everything entered in it. And so now let's just return it to here. All boom, font size back down to 8. See, take a look. We got it, and now you're kind of analyzing how you could see at a glance where the assertions are. A lot more assertions in the resolutional analysis, right? But you can see where the data is, double check their information. You can see how many warrants are included at a glance, okay? And so you do that for the entire 1AC, and I think that you would be very prepared to do cross-examination, because you could see where all the lacking of sources are and start asking them. It's like, how do you know that? What made you say that? What led you to that conclusion? Because you didn't include it in your affirmative constructive. All right.